Yeah, he shot the pastor. He shot all the men in the church. Please come right away.
How can this guy do this much carnage?
He's coming, he's coming, he's coming.
It's like I was staring Satan in his face.
He's a young 21-year-old white dude.
He had no feelings whatsoever about anything.
He's still in here, I'm afraid. He's still in here.
I can't believe he came to Shelby. What's he doing in Shelby?
But there's so many people dead, I think.
June 18th, 2015, just 14 hours after 9 people were massacred in Charleston.
But a lady called a friend of mine and said that she was behind the car matching the description of the Charleston killer.
Dylan Roof, spotted in Cleveland County, North Carolina.
This started with one woman that paid attention.
Debbie Dills recognized his car and alerted police.
I looked over and I thought, why does that car look familiar to me, and why am I thinking about that car?
Black Hyundai, white male traveling westbound.
Sergeant Dan Burnett remembers that first radio call he and his partner Joe Burris got.
I was outside of the car fueling up, and he told me, we got to go. It's possible sighting of Dylan Roof.
Appears to be the vehicle they see on TV.
They started following Roof down busy Highway 74 on the west side of Shelby.
78 on West Big.
Their plan, to stop him before the edge of town, but not where any people were gathered.
My thought process was, if this is him, I don't want to make that stop in that parking lot.
Sergeant Mike Myers and Detective Scott Hamrick joined the pursuit.
It just so happened we wound up at the traffic light at the end of the city limits.
Lincoln G. George F. Frank 330.
Sergeant Burnett turned on his blue lights.
It had to be done, it had to be effective, it had to be them.
Roof pulled into the driveway of an abandoned house.
And he did exactly what I wanted him to do.
Several other Shelby police officers pulled in behind them.
I was behind the vehicle with my gun drawn, pointing at him, and I could tell pretty well that, yeah, that's him.
County, we just stopped the vehicle out near Plato Lee Road, confirmed it is a suspect.
Sergeant Burnett cautiously approached the car and took Roof into custody. What was his demeanor like?
Calm.
Did he resist whatsoever?
None at all. Very compliant.
It was almost like he was glad it was over. Now he's ready to tell the story. And I remember me asking him, hey, what's your name? And he said, Dylan Roof. And I said, were you involved in the shooting in Charleston at the church? And he said, yes.
Sergeant Myers asked Roof if any weapons were in the car.
And that's when he referred to the gun under the pillow in the back seat. And he referred to it as the gun. And it stuck out to me when he said the gun is in the back seat under the pillow. It wasn't there's a gun, it was the gun.
They find the car, they get behind it, they run it.
The police chief at the time, Jeff Ledford, now retired, was in a meeting when his assistant broke the news to him that his officers had Roof in custody.
So she just whispered to me and said, we've stopped Dylan Roof. I was like, you gotta be kidding. And she shows me the CAD screen, and sure enough, it said confirmed Dylan Roof.
Roof was taken to the Shelby police station where he was questioned by the FBI and South Carolina authorities.
I went to that church in Charleston. I did it.
10 years later, Ledford says he's proud of what his officers accomplished, but they don't want recognition.
I'm definitely not a hero. We're just out doing what we would do any other day.
They did a great job, and we're proud of them, and we're proud of our community, but it still goes back to, let's talk about Charleston. Let's talk about those families and those first responders that were there.
Why did you do it?
These officers later testified at Roof's trial and witnessed his conviction.
Those victims' families got to face him. They got to say their piece to him.
They got to look the devil in the eyes. The families did.
No matter how many little pigs build a home in North Carolina, the big bad wolf keeps coming. Hugo, Florence, Fran, and Helene. Those major storms have huffed and puffed their way to more than $80 billion in damage and 140 deaths in North Carolina alone.
Do we not learn anything from that story that say, okay, now we can just kind of waive some of these building requirements for our structures? What's going on here? The word livid doesn't describe the comments I've had from some of the inspectors.
Richard Alsop is an architect with decades of experience in commercial and residential construction. He highlighted some of the legislation filed in the North Carolina General Assembly that's concerned him most, including a bill that would rewrite floodplain rules following Helene.
What they're allowing you to do now is to go back and rebuild in that area, that same area, under the former code.
Another bill passed into law makes it illegal to require sheathing inspections outside of a handful of coastal counties that have 140-mile-per-hour winds.
You're looking at a tremendous amount of information again.
Alsop says whether your home is made of straw, sticks, or bricks, sheathing is an integral safety component. It literally helps hold your home together and keep water and wind out.
You can have a 70-mile-an-hour sustained wind over a long period of time and actually did as much damage as a 140-mile-an-hour wind. The first piggy that's run to the second piggy, and they're sitting there thinking to themselves, I hope the fact that we passed this law to get rid of sheathing inspections is really going to have a benefit. Big Bad Wolf being the next hurricane.
Do you have any issues doing sheathing inspections?
No, I actually think it's important, and I do it as part of my framing inspection.
Holly Edwards is owner of Holton Construction and sits on the board of the Home Builders Association of Greater Charlotte. While homes are built at a breakneck pace, she says they're often unaffordable for the people making up the backbone of the community.
There's a lot of our workforce, our teachers, our policemen, our firemen, you know, they can't afford that type of house. They're priced out of that range. So we have to figure out a plan to address that.
But even in her position and profession, she's noticing problems with the language of some of the home builders legislation.
Because there was probably some overreach there, you know, that people just were not going to be okay with.
She's talking about House Bill 765, a priority for the North Carolina HBA.
Well, there was about 10 things that were eye-popping, so it wasn't just one thing.
And a real pain for Concord Mayor Bill Dush, an active member of the North Carolina League of Municipalities. The Save the American Dream Act would strip towns across the state of their ability to regulate many aspects of local development.
You can still put 5 houses per acre no matter what the residential zoning is, and so that's a non-starter for us also. It'd be first come, first served. So if an entity came in to us and said, we want to build 1,000 houses, they take all our sewer.
And the pigs didn't have places to go to school or to work, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
it's
that's exactly what it is here.
Mayor Dush isn't trying to stop little pigs from building homes in Concord. A hard hat, shovel, and pictures from groundbreakings adorn his office.
You either grow or you die. There's no way to keep that perfect middle point. You've got to always be moving ahead some way.
Of course, that story tells us everything, you know. At the end of the day, we want that structure to stand for 50 years. The more due diligence a builder puts into their project, the property that you're building on, the better outcome.
I reached out to the NCHBA to ask for their response to this story. In an email statement, they wrote, quote, meaningful reform often invites debate, especially when challenging long-standing regulatory practices. The bills we support are not designed to undermine safety or local government. They are meant to promote a safe housing stock, address inefficiencies, increase housing supply, and ensure that North Carolinians can afford to live in the communities they serve. We remain open to constructive dialogue with stakeholders, but policymaking should be guided by data and statewide needs, not anecdotal objections or assumptions. More of their replies to our questions can be found on our website, WBTV.com.
So about 1:30 p.m. this afternoon, the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force went to the 5000 block of Galway Avenue in an attempt to serve a warrant.
What they did was basically a surrounding call out on a megaphone, letting them know, hey, we're U.S. Marshals, we're here. He then shot his AR-15 out of the back and side windows.
We currently
We have a sergeant assigned to that task force who is on the scene as well.
I need unit 1018, 5525, Galloway Drive. Sorry, 311025. I got 2 officers down on Galloway Drive. I got shots fired. He's top window, barricaded himself.
The bravery of our officers that responded to the scene.
I need a lot of people.
Knowing that they're going into gunfire. In the face of danger.
Would you like a swap also? Absolutely.
Our people step up.
Shots fired, shots fired. They need armor in the backyard. A lot of armor in the backyard. We got another officer hit. I got 4 officers down. So you get 4 officers down. The man, he's shooting at us again. Return fire.
He came out of that window armed with 2 guns.
He's down. He's in the front. He has a gun. We have cover on him right now. He is down. He is shot. Hey, which side is he shooting from now? From Alpha. He's down. He's shooting rifle rounds. He's shooting rifle rounds.
As a team of officers approached the side of the home to evacuate the wounded, an officer observed movement from the same window where gunfire previously rained down on them. That officer fired 1 round into that window.
Hey, target down. Additional shot from inside the house. Hey, where are you at in the yard? We need to get that guy. I need hard cover on the Charlie and the Delta.
The whole goal with the suppressive fire was just to get the wounded out, as well as the other officers that were trying to carry them out.
Do we have eyes on the target?
455, there's still an officer backyard against the fence.
We're still by. We're making a play to get him. He's firing at us. We're just trying not to have any more injuries. Where do we need fire to extract? This is about a 59. We're en route to your facility, emergency traffic, with an officer who has been shot. 34-year-old officer shot in the back. Off of Cherry. Right at Ruth. We are bringing up a team with fire. We were told to come up and get a critically injured officer out.
We know that early on in the investigation, there were multiple accounts of a potential second shooter.
The guy in the front yard is down, and there's still somebody inside shooting.
We have determined that there was only 1 shooter who fired at officers, and he was pronounced deceased on the scene.
We got 3 off the Charlie in the Bearcat. Patrol got 1 in your car. Are we missing anybody else off the backside?
This was a rapidly evolving,
several of us are pinned down,
and chaotic scene.
You need to back up and get behind cover. You're both going to shoot each other if something happens.
Circumstances were changing by the minute.
Do we have any more officers out? Marshall's channel is saying negative. Everybody's out with us.
And with a Marshall now, he says he saw 2 in the backyard.
It was an unprecedented tragedy for this community.
All of these individual officers that were out there, all 8 that were shot and injured, the hundreds that responded, they're heroes. They're heroes because they face dangers that most humans should not have to face. And they accept that danger, and not a single one of them backed away from that challenge yesterday.